This is Harry Brunius with the Christian Science Monitor. Today we're going to be flying on one of these C-47 military transport planes that were used during the original Normandy invasion during D-Day. These planes are going to be flying again during the 75th anniversary of D-Day, coming this June 6th.
In my love of history, I have had the opportunity and the good fortune of spending a lot of time with a lot of the veterans who had partaken in these events 75 years ago. So to remember, honor, and serve what they did to provide for our way of life today, I feel it's one of the best ways that I possibly could do that.
Hi, Colonel Tim Terrace of the Commemorative Air Force here at Oxford, Connecticut with D-Day Dow and several other aircraft. We're preparing to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a few days. This aircraft behind me, D-Day Dow and others, participated in that event, and we're going back to honor the veterans that were so involved.
We're on board, that's all, brother. And this is a very special plane. It was the very first plane to fly over Normandy to drop U.S. paratroopers on the first main sortie during D-Day.
So this is the C-47, and the C-47 was really the heavy lift airplane of World War II. And on D-Day, they needed to get a bunch of soldiers and equipment behind enemy lines to prevent the resupply effort. And so over 800 C-47s took off the early morning hours of June 6th, went across the channel and dropped paratroopers and equipment behind enemy lines, and then went back to England and towed gliders back that were hauling jeeps and artillery and more soldiers. So 14,000 soldiers were dropped behind the enemy lines in the D-Day invasion.
So before we got on, that's all, brother. The pilot reminded us of the paratroopers that were dropped over Normandy 75 years ago. Can't imagine being in this plane for hours, waiting to be dropped into a very dangerous place.
Now, in this new world of being on top of everything, what's the next thing to do? It's to jump on D-Day, 75 years to the day, in France. So that's kind of what led us to being involved in all of this.
And World War II is a great example of what we can accomplish when, as a country, we're all moving in the same direction towards a common goal. Americans' involvement in World War II is the reason why we live free. And had we not gone to Europe to fight World War II there, we would have been fighting it on our own coast. And so the sacrifice and the courage of that generation had a tremendous impact on why we live free in America today and the rest of the Western world.